What is up there, guys? This is Cobb and the patch notes are out for patch 7.1. I don't know if this patch is all up on the PTR yet. I have like 40 gigs worth of PTR still to download and shit. Because, I don't know, I just removed it on my computer a long time ago. I don't know why. So hell, if these changes are live, especially this one, boom, on the PTR, we'll be downloading that soon and playtest them a little bit. But we're just going to go through some of the patch notes, guys, talk about them a little bit, see what's in store for patch 7.1, which apparently, as it turns out, is actually not a number tuning patch. There appear to be very, very few abilities that are getting damage tweaks. It's a lot of tooltip changes. For Warlocks here, we've got Demon Skin and Demonic Circle swapping talent locations, which is really, really interesting, and that's the first thing that we're going to cover. But first thing you notice here in the Warlock changes, right? As a Destro Lock anyway, you'll notice no case ball damage buff, or no case ball damage adjustment or anything like that, which, a little bit sad. A little bit sad. I was kind of expecting it in the very, very first patch. Maybe it's because Blizzard just have faith that Case Bolt is going to scale like extremely well in PvE with once people are getting like the raiding gear and stuff. And in PvP likewise, even though we do have preset PvP stats, those preset stats do get increased a little bit the higher your item level goes. So we're just going to have to see how Case Bolt's damage does in the long run. And a quick pause here. Forgot to bloody talk about this, while we're recording with the face cam and stuff, so I'm just injecting it into the video right now. Honor system changes. Honor talents will no longer be lost when a player chooses to prestige. Very, very interesting. Awesome on the surface, but I do have some criticisms of this, but let's talk about the awesomeness first. It would suck. As a Destro Lock, at least. I'm just thinking as a Warlock right now. It would suck playing as Destro. You want to up your prestige, like Prestige 2, Prestige 3 or whatever, acquire them awesome rewards that come along with it. Things like titles, mounts, I think you get stuff like that. Artifact transmogs. And then lose access to things like Firestone. You know what I'm saying? Our really, really key PvP talents. Firestone's just the one that really comes to mind for me. That shit would suck, so the fact that you don't lose those anymore, that shit's awesome. Not on the surface of it though, like, I guess beneath the surface of it, fuck it. It kinda sucks that you don't, I guess, get any penalty for prestiging anymore. It's just sort of something that you're just going to grind now. The idea of losing all of your honor talents gave it a sense of like real challenge and this extra sense of accomplishment to it. Whereas prestiging now, it can sort of just be done by anyone passively, if you know what I mean. Like whatever form of PvP you're playing, you're just going to passively prestige, basically, right? There's no reason to not prestige anymore. So it sort of takes away a little bit of the prestige from prestiging, to put it like that. But all in all, really, really happy with that shit. It's awesome to hear. And it's going to be good for gameplay. There you go. But for now, yeah, fuck it, man. Let's talk about this Demon Skin Demonic Circle swapping talent locations. Boom! Look at that, man. Slick. Already got the talent calculator open. Destruction DPS, blah, blah, blah. Another little interesting thing here, actually, before we even, like, look over here. Shadow Bolt is there. Why is Shadow Bolt now a little ability list here at the side? That was actually in the data mined patch notes. Mentioning that Shadow Bolt is now... See, it requires Warlock Demonology or Destruction. Were you going to get Shadow Bolt back? I mean, that'd be cool. It'd be a little bit useless. A little bit useless. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can use, like, Shadow Bolt to just get deliberately locked on Shadow. If you wanted to spam Incinerates, but I don't know why you'd ever want to do that, really. Anyway, Demonic Circle, man. It now shares a talent here with Mortal Coil and Shadow Fury. As you can see. Mortal Coil, Shadow Fury. Mortal Coil these days isn't quite as strong anymore anyway, right? Mortal Coil is the main competition here now, because Shadow Fury has a cast time. RIP Shadow Fury, right? Alright, Shadow Fury's just... It's in the past, okay? Mortal Coil, at least for PvP, it's in the past. Mortal Coil used to be really, really good, and then the Mortal Coil horror effect just started DRing with, like, everything. So it just made it a lot weaker. If this was, like, a 30-second cooldown, and maybe a bit of a longer range, like a 35-yard range or something, we could actually consider Mortal Coil here on this tier, but Demonic Circle, man, we can actually pick this shit now. So we pick Demonic Circle, and then we have a choice on the 75 tier between Demon Skin and Dark Pact. I personally think that Dark Pact is going to be the way to go. I just like that responsive shield, especially in things like arenas. I think this is going to be better. Unless it turns out that the Dark Pact shields just aren't big enough if we need to go with, like, service for the spell lock in arenas. So an arena spec might end up looking something like... Would you go reverse entropy or mana tap? I'll just leave it as mana tap for now. That's subject to debate, though. Soul Harvest is a must. And then, honestly, even in most arenas, I think that Wreak Havoc. It's going to be extremely good. Like, as soon as you get the Firestone PvP talent, you don't really need Soul Conduit so much for the every shard you spend has a chance to be refunded. I don't think that you really need that so much once you've got Firestone, because that's providing an extra injection of Soul Shards. Wreak Havoc becomes a lot more viable. I think that's most likely to be the arena spec. Grimhav Sacrifice though for BGs. It's still just going to be the way to go, right? Because it makes Dark Pact so fucking huge. But if you're going to go Grimhav Service in arenas, you might actually want to be going Demon Skin, right? I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. It makes it really awkward, right? That we need to go into Grimhav Service to get a reliable spell look. I mean, you could go Supremacy, but... Because then by specking into Grimhav Service, you're automatically nerfing Dark Pact. Because if it's only sacrificing 20% of your demon's health, that's nowhere near as much, and the shield is a lot smaller, so... I don't know, man. It's a tough one, but BG spec, though, at least is fairly straightforward. So there you go. Demonic Circle's back, alright? Demonic Circle is back. Kind of, alright? They could have fixed this in a much better way. They could have, like... It would be nice to have, for example, Demonic Circle replacing, like, swapping places with something like Reverse Entropy. Or swapping places with Mana Tap. Because who gives a shit about Mana Tap, you know? Wouldn't that have been much better? Am I wrong? Like, leave Demon Skin where it is, and just swap Demonic Circle with something else, so then we could have, like, Demonic Circle, Demon Skin, and Sacrificial Pact. Would that be too ridiculous? Yeah, we'll probably be indestructible at that point. I don't know. It's an okay fix. We'll see how it plays when it goes live on the PTR. That's if it hasn't already gone live, alright? That's if it hasn't already gone live. So, these ones here, I think that these are the data mined patch notes. Some of these spell changes or tooltip changes aren't actually mentioned in the official notes, which I have open here as well, but these are the data mined ones. I just want to point out, where is it actually? Oh yeah, we've also got Shadow Bolt for Demonology and Destruction there as well. It's listed here too. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, Incinerate. Incinerate draws fire toward the enemy, dealing not 190% of spell power, but 210% of spell power as fire damage. Warlock Destruction spec, blah 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 blah. Does that mean that Incinerate's got like a little micro damage buff? Is it even worth drawing attention to this? I don't know. It's a welcome change. It's not mentioned in the patch notes, maybe because it's such a small damage buff. I think that 190% up to 210% of spell power probably equates to something like between an 8 or 9% damage buff to Incinerate, right? Maybe it's a tiny bit more actually. Maybe it's like a little over 10%. I'm not quite sure, but it's a very small damage buff. If this note is even correct, you know, because like I said, this is the data mine stuff, and I'm not sure how much these are to be believed. And fuck it, the last thing that we want to talk about, well, last thing we want to show off, some screenshots posted up by the Warcraft devs on Twitter. Sophie alerted me to these just this morning, actually. It's the new Nagrand Arena, guys. Look at that. Boom. That looks juicy, doesn't it? Doesn't that one look cool? I don't like the night one so much. I mean, it's still sort of good. It's still a big improvement, but that looks pretty sick. And that looks pretty sick, alright. New Nagrand Arena map. It's about time it got updated. Now all I have to do is bring back the fucking Orgrimmar Ring of Valor arena, right? That was like my favorite arena ever. It was so awesome. Glitchy as hell and got people disconnected all the time, if anybody remembers it, but... awesome arena. It'd be good to see that one make a comeback, you know? But that's just wishful thinking. Like I say, all of these notes and stuff like that might be actually active right now on the PTR for testing. But I need to download like 40 gig of PTR, and the UK has shit internet, alright? The UK has fucking terrible internet, so I'm going to download it through the night anyway, so that I'm ready. If these notes aren't quite up yet, so just so I'm ready for when they do go up. And if they are up, I'll probably be recording a video. Just seeing how the spec plays and how it feels in things like 2v2s and Battlegrounds and stuff. In the next day or two. Before we go, I am obliged to shout out a bunch of new fucking awesome, godlike, just insane patrons. Their names are Mr. Andrew Rupp, Tim Gardner, Mike Taylor, Walter Hughes. I'm sorry, man, Walter. I'm sorry, alright, I'm destroying it. Sorix. And that's a lot of new patrons, actually. That's Andrew, Tim, Mike, Walter, and Sorix. Thanks so much, guys, for becoming patrons on the Patreon page. You guys are fucking gods. And also, an equally grateful thanks as well to Mr. Roy Melblock, Big Roy. Thanks a lot, Roy. And Sam Cass for actually increasing their pledges on the page as well. Really fucking helps me out. So yeah, thanks so much for the support, guys. Fucking means a lot. Helps me do this for a living. Really appreciate it. Everyone on the Patreon page, you guys are gods. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here, and I'm going to check in with you guys again once these notes go all up and live on the PTR. Videos in between then, of course. I mean, damn, we're trying to maintain a video a day here on this channel, alright? But yeah, for now, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Go and queue yourself up for a battleground. I'm going to catch all of you guys just a bit later. Remember, you can support the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, and checking out our Patreon page, which is always linked below in the description. So cheers again, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Need some more. How the fuck am I silenced again, dude? Nay, the druid's coming back. I'm fucking